now let us discuss the nature of sociology. Okay, what is the nature of sociology? Sociology as a branch of social science has its own unique characteristics. According to sociologists, more specifically according to the founding fathers of sociology, sociology is a unique discipline when compared to other social sciences. Why? Because the social sciences like history, political science, economics focuses on the particular aspect of human society. But whereas sociology is the holistic study of the human society. Sociology is concerned with the family and marriage system, political system, economic system, religious system, education, almost all aspects related to human society are being studied by sociology. That is the uniqueness of sociology. Political science is concerned with only state and governance. Economics is concerned with the economic aspects of society. That's all. But sociologists try to analyze the political aspects, economic aspects, religious aspects, educational aspects of human society. So keeping these characteristics in view, a sociologist known as Robert Bierstedt, a sociologist known as Robert Bierstedt, in his book Social Order, described the nature of sociology. Many sociologists have discussed about the nature of sociology, but specifically in this book, The Social Order, in this book, Robert Bierstedt has discussed about the nature of sociology. So when you talk about the nature of sociology, you need to focus on some specific points. The first one is sociology is an independent science. Sociology is an independent science. In 19th century, there was an argument whether sociology is a science or not. And many social scientists have considered it as a common sense knowledge. But sociologists have disagreed with that. They have categorically stated that sociology is a science. And they have substantiated their argument by presenting the positivist methodology or scientific methodology. Like any other natural science and social science, sociology also adopts a scientific method or scientific methodology for the study of social phenomena. Okay. So since sociology as an independent science has its own field of study, boundary, method and methodology. This particular point you need to focus. Why sociology is an independent science? Sociology is an independent science because it has its own field of study. Field of study means it has its own boundary. And it has its own methods and methodologies. Right? Sociologists use different methods and methodologies for the study of social phenomena. All this we will discuss later. Sociologists try to analyze the various aspects of human society by using different perspectives, methods, and methodologies. That is the unique quality of sociology. Sociologists not only use a method, right? What is method? Method is nothing but a procedure to conduct study. That is method, right? For example, we say the term called, say that scientific method means a scientific procedure to study a physical phenomena or social phenomena. But sociologists have developed multiple methods for the scientific study of social phenomena. We will discuss about those methods later, like scientific method, historical method, comparative method, statistical method, functionalist method, case study method. All these are the different methods used for the study of social phenomena. So depending upon the nature of the subject under study, sociologists apply an appropriate method, right, for the study of social phenomena. But not only that, sociologists also use a particular perspective. Sociologists view the social reality with a particular perspective. There are perspectives like functionalist perspective, conflict perspective, interactionist perspective, feminist perspective, subaltern perspective. So all these perspectives help a sociologist to understand the social reality. So sociologists combine the method with perspective, that results into methodology. There are different methodologies used by the sociologists for the study of social phenomena. like positivist methodology, ethno-methodology, phenomenology, symbolic interactionism, critical social research methodology, feminist methodology, postmodernist methodology. Like there are different methodologies which have been used by the sociologists for the study of social phenomena. That means, depending upon the nature of the subject under study, sociologists use appropriate perspective, method, and methodology to study the social phenomena. Right? So, this is the difference between sociology and other social sciences. That is why sociology is what? An independent science. So, you have to present this argument within 2-3 sentences. Okay. Then sociology is basically comes under the category of social science. You know, sciences are classified as natural sciences and social sciences. Natural sciences and physical sciences, they go together. Then social sciences. In this context, what is the main difference between a natural science and sociology? More specifically, sociology. The subject under study in natural sciences and physical sciences is an object which does not have consciousness. Please try to understand this. The subject under study in natural sciences and physical sciences is an object which does not have consciousness. Take physics, chemistry, biology, right? They study only the objects, and most of their studies are within the laboratory. That is why they use experimental method to discover the knowledge. But whereas the subject under study in sociology is human behavior, which have consciousness. Could you get my point? The subject under study in sociology is what? A human being or human behavior which have consciousness. We study about human beings who think. You cannot control the human nature, right? You cannot control the human behavior, but still we can study human beings. So that is why sociologists have developed different quantitative and qualitative methods, both quantitative and qualitative methods for the analysis of social phenomena. What are the quantitative methods and qualitative methods? We will discuss later. So, sociology comes under the category of social science. And one of the most important characteristic of sociology is sociology is a categorical and not a normative discipline. Sociology is a categorical, not normative discipline. This is the most important characteristic of sociology. Then what is categorical? Sociology is a categorical and not a normative discipline. Then what is categorical? Sociology confines itself to the statements about what is, not what should be or ought to be. I'm repeating this statement. Sociology confines itself to the statements about what is, not what should be or ought to be. Ought to be means, what is the meaning of this statement? Sociology always focuses its attention on the study of the present society, how society is. Sociology never talks about how society should be, how society ought to be. Sociology is not an ethics. Sociology is not a philosophy. Sociology is a science of present society. That's all. Do you get my point? Sociology tries to analyze the human behavior in the present society. That's all. But how a human being is supposed to behave, it's not concerned with that. Do you get my point? It is not a philosophy. For example, philosophers, they talk about ideal society. Society should be like this. No, sociology never say how society should be, how society is, whether it is good or bad. That it is related to the human society. They decide what exactly they want. And another important aspect is that as a science, sociology necessarily silent about the questions of value. Sociology is necessarily silent about the questions of value. That means it does not make any value judgments. It does not make any value judgments. Please make note of this. Sociology does not make any kind of value judgments. Its approach is neither moral nor immoral, but amoral. Yeah, I'm repeating. It does not make any kind of value judgments. Its approach is neither moral nor immoral. It is ethically neutral. So that means sociology never say this is good, this is bad. Sociology never comment that Indian society is very good, American society is bad. No. It never say that American society is so great and Indian society is not so great. No. It never makes such kind of value judgments. Sociology always tries to provide the factual information about the contemporary societies. It is neither concerned with the past nor with the future. No. What is now? How society is now? It's concerned about that. So I think you got my point. Sociology is categorical and not a normative discipline. Generally, philosophy is a normative discipline. Ethics is a normative discipline. Then there are theology, for example. Theology means which studies about religion. They are all normative disciplines. They tell how society should be, how human behavior should be, how a human being is supposed to behave. Sociology never tells like that. Sociology tries to analyze how society is, how human beings are behaving, and what are the consequences of that behavior. That's all. That is analyzed by the sociology. So, sociological knowledge is neither moral nor immoral. It is ethically neutral. Then, sociology is a pure science, not an applied science. This is another. Sociology is a pure science, not an applied science. What is meant by pure science and applied science? Pure science mainly concerned with discovery of theoretical knowledge. Pure science is pure science mainly focuses on theory. Applied science is application of the theory is applied science. That means if the theory is put into practice, that become an applied science. For example, if you take physical sciences, physics, pure science or applied science? Physics is a pure science. Engineering, applied science. Biology, physiology is pure science. Medicine, applied science. Similarly, sociology is pure science. It generates knowledge about the society. Right? Sociologists try to generate the new knowledge about the society. Then that is being utilized by the professionals like social workers, policy makers, administrators. Okay. So, social work, there is a subject called social work. Social work is an applied science. Sociology is a pure science. So, the main aim of sociology is the acquisition of knowledge. Acquisition of knowledge. Then sociology as a pure science provide the knowledge, provide the theoretical knowledge to the policy makers, administrators, social workers, businessmen. So in all these sectors, sociological knowledge is used, right, to resolve many issues. But sociologists themselves, right, do not apply that knowledge to the society. Do you get my point? For example, take poverty. Sociologists conduct research to identify the causal factors for poverty. And on the basis of that, they suggest certain strategies to eliminate poverty. But sociologists never implement that strategy. Who has to implement that? Social workers or administrators or policy makers, like that. So that is why sociology is a pure science, because its immediate aim is the acquisition of knowledge about human society. It is not the application of knowledge to the human society. All the time, sociologists try to generate more and more knowledge related to different aspects of human society. That is why there are many specialized branches in sociology. Today, sociology is not only concerned about the basic social institutions, but it is concerned with the rural societies, urban societies, industrial societies, right? Technology. Today, sociologists are using the terms called virtual community, network societies. Sociologists are trying to analyze the impact of social media on human social life, impact of technology on social life. Like sociologists are concerned with every field of human society. Even if you look at the medical sciences, Sociologists are concerned about the traditional and indigenous medicinal systems and their impact on human health. They talk about environmental degradation, its impact on human health. Like various aspects are being studied by sociologists. They generate knowledge, right, which are useful for policy making, and such kind of knowledge is useful to resolve many issues related to human society. Next point is sociology is relatively an abstract science, not a concrete science. Sociology is relatively an abstract science, not a concrete science. So, sociologists are not concerned about the concrete manifestations of human events. First of all, let me clarify what is abstract science, what is concrete science. For example, physics, chemistry, engineering, biology, they are all concrete sciences. That means the subject under study in concrete science are visible, right? And they can be manipulated by the researcher. You get my point? For example, take a chemist. Chemists conduct different experiments in the laboratory. So the chemicals are under the control of the researcher. And each chemical react according to its basic nature, because that doesn't have consciousness. Would you get my point? Is it true or not? Every object react according to its basic nature as part of experimentation. But it's not the case with human beings. But something happens, right? We just can't expect everybody to react in a particular fashion, right? Each individual react in a different way. Is it true or not? For example, take poverty. If I ask you, what is the main reason for poverty? Each one of you may give different reason for poverty, right? Somebody may say that lack of resources. Somebody may say lack of skills. Somebody may say it is laziness, lethargy among the people. Somebody may say it is superstitious beliefs among the people. Right? Each one of you can react in a different way. So therefore, sociology is an abstract science because most of the sociological studies are on the subjects which are invisible. That is why it is abstract science. Do you get my point? We study about culture. We study about religion. For example, Emile Durkheim has studied about suicide and he has established a theory of suicide. So he says suicide is a social fact. A suicidal tendency is a fact, but it is invisible. And he has argued that various factors contribute or push an individual, right, to commit suicide. People develop suicidal tendencies because of various social factors which are invisible, but it is a reality. Similarly, social deviance. When we talk about social deviance, we need to discuss about social values and norms. In fact, the behavior of every individual is governed by certain values and norms. Values and norms are nothing but society expect a particular kind of behavior from the individual. For example, take this classroom, right? We are not supposed to behave as we wish. Do you get my point? As long as we sit in this class, our behavior is conditioned by certain values and norms, which everybody has to conformity, right? So like that, as part of the society, there are many social values and norms which an individual is supposed to conform. But many a times, an individual try to violate, right? Suppose you are going for an examination, you have not studied well, but still you want to score very good marks. But once you enter into the examination halls, you are supposed to follow certain rules and regulations. But still you want to violate. How you want to violate? What do? Copying. We try to copy. It is a violation. That is called social deviance. So deviance is a reality. It exists as part of human behavior, but it is not visible. So like that, we can give many examples which are being studied by the sociologists. So therefore, sociology is what? An abstract science. It is not a concrete science. Except few, most of the aspects that are studied as part of sociology are invisible.